Please stand by. Dpinfocus live session will start shortly. Please be advised that we're having some sort of technical enhancements. Okay, good evening everyone. Drupal speaking, and of course, we're now on the Drupal in Focus live session. And of course, this topic could be the true independence, wherein it's sort of a random stories that I'm going to tell this to you. And of course, apologies for background noise. And let me say this to you guys. True independence entails responsibilities, whereas all the actions we do, whether we're celebrating the Philippine Independence Day or not, and because of this pandemic disaster that's been happening across the globe, mass gatherings are strictly forbidden as of this time, so as to curb the spread of COVID-19. And on this DDACE entry, let me tell you this one. And here's the quote for tonight. And I quote, "Unable to receive comfort in confession, I went to the Blessed Sacrament Chapel. I cried to God silently, and in the silence, He embraced me." Unquote. And this was came from Sis Dina Pecania. And of course, independence from any sort of interference or any sort of unwanted or should I say independence from unwanted experiences that only God could heal us. Only God could heal us from what's happening in our mind, in our heart, and also in our soul. And here's the random stories that you're waiting for. I've been experiencing some sort of travel to do some sort of surveys and other sort of checking on what's happening in our surroundings. And right behind this story could be more like of better experience that I'm going to share it to you. That even though I have some sort of autism or other disability issues, of course, we need to live in an independent life, and rather everybody must participate in these important issues that we care the most. And so, upon the yesterday's Fix the Map episode of Mapping 101 Thursdays, the line 7 has been fixed already with the following change set that I'm going to show it to you right in a bit. The result of the change set could influence other mappers to rethink and also to be aware about what could it be the correct tagging guidelines for any sort of mapping efforts. And also, we should be avoid some sort of erratic tagging that would cause undue confusion. And the line 7 or the MRT7 goes on to double tracking already. And here's the result from the yesterday's Fix the Map episode of the Mapping 101 Thursdays. For accountability's sake, that double tracking has been achieved, and also fixes on the incorrect tagging has been occurred. And that entails the free and open source mapping software. By the comparison, open source mapping could be freely edited by anyone else. And I'm very thankful to OpenStreetMap Philippines for those kind of, shows and other content that would inspire more people to map everything. What's really on the ground rather. And by the way, this is your Dear Paul speaking from Dear Paul based in Dasmania City. And as you can see on this background, don't forget to tune it in to Dpinfocus podcast on Facebook. Watch soon on IGTV. Also, don't forget to watch over YouTube or listen to Spotify, iTunes, Anchor.fm, and most podcast providers. Maybe I should split this two episodes. The first one is the random stories for which is the true independence that I have been told this to you earlier. And on the half hour, or should I say, the half portion of this live session should be dedicated to another episode. And by the way, the condensed edition of this live stream could split into two episodes. And as you can see, or as you have noticed, there would be some sort of challenges that I've been getting through before I experience those true independence from bullying, intimidation, and even bad habits that I've been getting through. And right now, hopefully, this whole Cavite province will be into modified general community quarantine. And remember, true independence could entail responsibilities. Also, we have to protect not only ourselves, but our loved ones as well. And of course, on the half part of this live, I'm going to share some random stories about how I got into Kerigma Conference 2018 and 2019 previously. Amid those conflicts in the academic schedules, if you're a Singaporean listener or watcher writer, good evening to all of you. And now it's 18:17, 6:17 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Let's proceed to what are going to happen in the near future. And as you can see, I'm wearing the LPU ID right now, and I'm a Lycean civil engineering student in reality. And by definition, I was supposed to have an upcoming internship. But however, for some reason, LPU Cavite does not offer anymore the summer classes in which the old curriculum have prescribed me to undergo internship, and hopefully I could contact the office right there through phone patch or the hotline rather, and not by the phone patch. Cause there would be a good reason for me to undergo some sort of internship, and I'm flipping into those experiences as I'm preparing. And of course, Drupal is going to, or should I say, Drupal 24 Media will going to rename this podcast name temporarily into Drupal 24, effective 15 Jan or June 2020, in order to prepare for possible rebranding. Of course, there would be a new content on the podcast, and hopefully you could pay for me as I've been getting through some sort of upcoming challenges as an upcoming fifth year civil engineering student. But I've been into irregular status for some reason. First up, I've been experienced sort of failures, and then cyberbullying disaster way back 2016. And here's the turning point. I'm very grateful that I have found a church, or should I say a prayer meeting group that I could follow through, which is the feast. Special thanks to all of my partners right there, from media ministry all the way to the preachers that I have been going through those sort of healing sessions. Most especially Brother Bogs Borbos have, as you have said earlier, is that turning point that I have been experienced is this. As what he had said in this session, don't just sit there, serve. And this is what I got compelled to, you know, serve at the feast. SM Dasmanias is what we have called it today. And also, I've been serving as a media ministry, and as far as you've known this one, I have upgraded already the PowerPoint presentation from a standard to a high definition widescreen. And on the anniversary last 2017, which is the test of the widescreen presentation for preaching. And then it continues, or it continued with the transition from a standard definition all the way to the high definition widescreen, wherein without my knowledge, during the 2017 Kerygma conference that I was supposed to attend but failed, there's an ongoing surprise already for some sort of rebranding, especially with the change of the logo. From then Feast Dasmanias, it becomes the Feast SM Dasmanias by 2018. As per namesake or location namesake, in reality, Feast SM Dasmanias, prior to the COVID-19 pandemic disaster, have its religious gatherings at the cinema to itself of the SM City Dasmanias, which is at Palapada. Next stop, I got a time to attend into the weekend gathering of the Kerygma Conference 2018, Limitless. Albeit on the youth ticket that I got. And as per previous live vlogs that I've been trying to start up, especially with the unboxing portion, oh my goodness me. There's a behind the scenes that's been happening while I open the headset package. Albeit on the internal microphone that has been plugged into phone. Oh my goodness me. What I don't like is this. Somebody, especially my mom, would interfere with the ongoing live stream that I've been going to start to. And of course, I got impatient because I have to be at the venue on time before the line goes heavy. And the only mistake is this. The old style jeepney that I have, that me and my mom is riding, and I have realized that there's something wrong. Upon arrival in Pasig or Pasay City rather, right opposite the W Mall or Walter Mart Mall. I have to disembark right away and walk all the way to SMX Convention Center. And of course, on Sunday, following the youth conference, it's the grand feast already. Supposedly, all of the provincial buses have to stop or terminate the route to Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, and to my disappointment, oh my goodness me, they have evaded the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange and diverted illegally to Baclaran, which is a big no-no for all provincial buses. Fast forward to 2019 and 2020, following this series of complaints that the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange got started to lose all of the passengers, I have no choice but to enforce the law. And of course, what happened at this Sunday, or the Grand Feast Sunday, is that I have to take the taxi cab, and to my dismay, I was almost running out of budget already in order to pay for the taxi meter. It's 13 peso and 50 centavos per kilometer, 2 peso per minute, and 40 pesos flag down rate. That's unacceptable if you're running tight into a budget. Adding to the burden is that I'm too allergic to the air pollution. Fast forward to 2020, all jeepneys got banned already as a result. And also, no provincial buses would pass through already the whole Metro Manila. What I'm very grateful about is this. I have met all of the servants from various feasts across the Philippines. And I saw most of the people with special needs, particularly those on wheelchairs. And to be honest, not all disabilities are apparent. We should respect one another. And of course, we have to proceed right away to the lawful things that we matter the most. And on Grand Feast Sunday, I have no one else to talk to but in 2019. I've been very grateful already since the Kerygma conference would turn suddenly into feast conference already. And to my surprise, Feast SM Dasmania's Facebook page got into the breaking news story, such that most newscasters would do. But before that, I have to share this adulting with Joyce Spring story here. And by the way, speaking of adulting with Joyce Spring, don't forget to tune it in later at 2000 8 p.m. Philippine Standard Time for the Shot of Sanity Friday Night Live session. To cut the long story short, oh my goodness me, is the fifth function room got jam-packed with most of the attendees. And to my surprise, partner Katokayo got also into the similar class. And I got very nervous because I can't handle those things that would happen, especially those cameras that are pointing on me. And I do like, oh my goodness, what should I do to speak? Anyways, there's an assistant, and thank you so much for assisting me. And because of that, I have asked her about some sort of advice for those bullied students, myself included. And I might have to open the note that says Kerygma Conference Story, which is part of the original or Dearpool story series. So please stand by. I'll going to open this for you, the notes or the blog content that I've been writing. The story of Dearpool Kerygma Conference story rather. And so let me flash it all over the screen. Hopefully there would be no technical errors here. And it says, apologies for some sort of notification. And it says here, the memorable class that I've been through. And as you can see on the blog entry right next to the screen, and it says like here, I might have to zoom it in for you to read properly. And it says like this: the most memorable of all Kerygma conference, especially the conclusion this 2019, is the class entitled Originally Meet Yourself, a guide to building self-esteem. But for some reason, she have to rename it into Building Self-Esteem on Solid Foundation, which is in the boldened or the highlighted block. Let me highlight this one for you. And execute this for some sort of modifications on this vlog entry because as far as you know, she's already married already to Brother Juancho Trifino since February 2020. And to my surprise, oh my goodness me, one choice got the wonderful love story that got started from unang hear it. And I kept on replaying those videos in order to, you know, remember those memories. And I'm going to have some sort of a split screen. Let's continue this one. Sister Choice Spring Trifino have to speak about the self-esteem, self-help tips, all audiences, myself and partner Kato kayo included. And also, I have to seek some sort of advice. She says in this verbatim, quote and unquote, or quote rather, we are, first of all, we're living in the broken world. And that means we are surrounded by broken people. Unquote. This is also a turning point that we could not find some sort of perfectionism that we're going through in this world full of brokenness. And it's a sad reality here that more and more victims of bullying and intimidation will happen in this span of 5 to 10 years unless there would be a stringent enforcement. And what I have said it to you earlier, true independence entails responsibilities that we should be responsible for one another. And let me scroll it to another quote that says, one of the most empowering things that I learned along the way, sad to say that hearing bashes and hatred online, and to my surprise, she's also bullied. Oh my goodness me. And that means, to be exact, hurt people hurt. Oh my goodness. What could I say about this one is this? Bashes and hatred could happen anytime and anywhere. And of course, it would hurt another people. And we are humans rather. We have valid feelings. Let me scroll it further down. She added this one. Quote, the people who are hurting you are either once hurt so bad that they need to bring it on to somebody else, or they are currently hurting and so disgusted with who they are. Let me post this for a while before I continue with this quotation. It's unacceptable already for someone to bully another person, whether it's on the school, university, or college, and not even on the workplace. Oh my goodness me. Power tripping is what I have discovered in this quotation. Power tripping could mean abuse already. And so, what I have realized is this. People with disabilities could be hurt also by the way of the stigma and discrimination that are mounted on the society, and it's unacceptable. And those ridiculous and vilifying acts that would cause a loss to self-esteem of the latter, in which is strictly forbidden under the Republic Act 9442. And let me re-emphasize those quotations that we must understand, you must understand, I must understand, we must understand that quote unquote hurt people hurt. And therefore, you might need to do some sort of concept like showing those grace and love to those affected people right there, either left or right. Showing grace to people who don't deserve it. Hopefully, they could change their mind. And it's not necessarily mean that you have to be friends with them, close to them, or whatever. Though it could be possible. And if you got victimized by those bullies, left and right, what I have to advise this to you is to quote and unquote, not retaliating, just protecting yourself. And this includes talking to your parents, guardians, guidance counselors, authorities, or empowered people who could protect you and fought for your rights. And before I conclude with this True Independence episode, Random Stories, you know what? Remember that whatever those Buddhists are doing or saying to you, which she had said all over the Krigma Conference 2019, whatever they are berating you with, then you are not those things. And as what she have said, what everybody else have said, what I have said, then it's a very serious thing. We should stop bullying one another. We should stop hating one another. We should stop bashing one another. Whatever the mistakes, whatever those flaws, whatever those missing pieces, then it's our responsibility. Anyways, thank you very much for watching Dpinfocus podcast, or thank you for listening to Dpinfocus podcast. Of course, it's been a more trying experience to do some sort of podcast or a show. Therefore, the next episode could be more of stories that you need to hear. Next episode could entail the previously met servants across the NCR and Cavite, and hopefully everybody could be okay. And I have to cut this live session short because of the upcoming webinar session for sure. So, see you guys next week. Thank you very much for watching Turbo in Focus podcast. And don't forget that the rebranding could occur. And see you next time. Take care, everybody. Don't forget that Adulting with Choice Spring Shot of Sanity live session subnext at $2,000, 8 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. or if you're using the universal time coordinates, it's at 1200 hours. And if you're living in the United States East Coast, where New York City is your favorite city, the program will start at 8 in the morning, US Eastern Daylight Time. So see you right there. Guys, take care everybody. Be safe, be well, and I love